And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Hello and welcome to Friday's marine segment. Up first, taking a look at the sea ice analysis for today. You can see sea ice continuing to increase all along the Arctic coast here. Still an open area here off the eastern Beaufort Sea coast and a big area of open water over the Chukchi Sea. And for tonight, we've got this large low pressure area in the southwestern Bering Sea that's going to swing up to the north, bring another trough, and more gale force winds into the north coast tomorrow, the north coast of the Panhandle and the eastern North Gulf Coast tomorrow, while winds stay pretty strong tonight and into early tomorrow here over the eastern Bering Sea, especially from St. Lawrence Island northward. But those will start to come down, and you can see by Sunday, much lighter winds, low pressure here over the Seward Peninsula, just producing areas of snow from the Chukchi Sea down along the southwest coast, St. Lawrence Island. But winds much lighter now in this area. Scattered showers, light winds over the interior with still unsettled southwest flow continues as slow pulling back toward the Kenai Peninsula. So an improving trend starts eventually there for the southeast coast. Monday looking pretty good down that way, and actually a pretty quiet pattern here across much of the state as this low tracks eastward and then drops off to the southeast Sunday night and Monday. Coastal water forecast here for the south coast of the Panhandle. South winds 20 to 25 knots, stronger here with, again, that trough swinging up to the north there. Got some gale warnings coming in of southeast winds or east-southeast 25 to 40 knots, and southeast 20 for Lynn Canal, southeast 25 Stevens Passage, south winds 25 knots for Clarence Strait. And then for Sunday, Clarence Strait, Stevens Passage, southeast winds 25 knots, southeast at 20 for Lynn Canal, south winds 20 knots for the south coast, and east-southeast 25 to 35 knots for the north coast. And here for the eastern North Gulf Coast, tomorrow, gale warnings, east winds 40 to 45 knots, northeast at 30 with 7-foot seas for Prince William Sound. Minimum gales here for the western North Gulf Coast out of the northeast, and west-northwest winds at 30 knots for Kamishak Bay and the Barren Islands. Cook Inlet, north to northeast winds at 20. And for Sunday, northern Cook Inlet, east winds at 20 knots, southern Cook Inlet, west winds at 20 knots. 30-knot westerlies for the Kamishak Bay area blowing across the Barren Islands, and small craft advisories for the North Gulf Coast for south to southwest winds at 25 knots, southeast winds 25 knots in Prince William Sound. Kodiak Island tomorrow, northwest winds 25 knots, gale warnings for the Alaska Peninsula for west-northwest winds at 35 to 40 knots, and northwest winds at 40 knots for Bristol Bay. And for Sunday, Kodiak Island, west winds 20 to 25 knots, west to 25 for Bristol Bay, and the Alaska Peninsula, westerlies 20 to 25 knots. Eastern Aleutians tomorrow, gale warnings, west winds 30 to 35 knots, west at 40 knots for Atka Island, westward to Amchitka, and from Amchitka to Shimia, west winds 30 to 35 knots. And then for the day on Sunday, west-northwest winds for the western Aleutians at 30 to 35 knots, and south to southeast winds for Adak and Atka at 30 knots. Southeast winds, or east-southeast winds, 20 to 25 here for the Fox Islands. And then for the southwest coast, tomorrow we've got gale warnings, northwest winds, 35 knots, all along the coastline there. Same thing for St. Matthew Island, northwest at 35, northwest at 30 for the Pribilofs. Gale warnings for St. Lawrence Island, north at 35 knots, north at 20 for Norton Sound. And for Norton Sound on Sunday, northeast winds at 15 knots. The southwest coast here, northwest at 20 to 25 knots. Northwest at 25 for St. Lawrence Island. And for St. Matthew Island, northwest at 25 and north at 15 for the Pribilofs. And for the Arctic coast tomorrow, brisk wind advisories or small craft advisories. Northeast winds 25 to 30 knots with gale warnings for the Chukchi Sea, north to northeast at 30 to 40 knots. And for the day on Sunday, east winds 20 knots for the Chukchi Sea. And for the western Arctic coast, east winds 30 to 35 knots. East winds at 30 for the central coast, and east-northeast 20 to 25 for the eastern Beaufort Sea coast.